All right, recording started. Michael, Justin,
Hello,
Hey.
happy Monday.
these are my friends, Michael Starling, Justin Dyke. He just goes by Justin on the screen. But yeah, Justin, nice of you to join us. Justin normally does the podcast with me, and yeah, we've had Michael on a few times. They're hit or miss, but today it's going to be a definite hit, right, Michael?
I hope so. The pressure's
That's
on now.
good.
It's video.
Yeah, now we have
Wait,
video.
it is? It's live?
Yeah,
Is
this
this
is
live?
well, it's not going to be live, but it is a
Oh.
live recording. I'm not going to edit it, so
Oh, okay.
don't say anything too bad. So yeah, I guess first thing we need to mention is our buddies at Village Orthodontics. Michael, have you ever had braces before?
I actually never did.
Never did. I never
No.
did either. And then I did like a year and a half ago. And over the last year, I've got my teeth straight, feeling good. My bite's nice. Just
Nice.
Invisalign. Yeah, wear them at night. And then, whenever you're not eating during the day. But if you do, or your kids do need braces, Village Orthodontics is the place to go. Right, Justin?
Yeah, you'll do anything to promote them. Even getting
Yeah.
braces at age, 40?
Nothing is above me. Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing is below me. All right. Well, Michael, what do you want to talk about today?
So I think I was on a couple months ago. We talked about this new visioning process the city has started called Edge City 2.0. We're coming down to the home stretch. We're going to have a public meeting October 20th to sort of unveil the work we've been doing sort of behind the scenes. And so I want to let everybody know about that, give them a little bit of a heads up on what this is about, and invite them to that meeting.
Okay, well, let's pretend that they didn't listen to the last episode,
Yeah.
which they probably
they didn't.
didn't.
No,
Give us
only my
quick.
mom. Only my
Your
mom
mom.
listened.
My mom doesn't listen. Give us a quick synopsis of what Edge City 2.0 is.
Sure. So, sort of coming out of COVID, there's a couple of things that have been sort of accelerated that we think we need to get in front of. One is sort of the work from home, our office market. There's a lot of pressure now that more and more people are working from home. And the second is retail. Retail has changed. We can't expect our suburban retail centers to continue to thrive in the future. And so we think it's important for us to create a citizen-driven and market-feasible long-term economic vision for Perimeter Center. So that's what we've been doing for the past 8 or 9 months. We've had a group of consultants as well as staff here at the city, a group of stakeholders, citizen stakeholders working on this big picture concept. Hopefully, at the end of this, we'll have a vision that the residents can get behind and the market will support.
Awesome. That's weird. I didn't get a call to be part of that, but we can move on.
You weren't
We can move
consulted.
on. Yeah. So where are you at in the process now?
So they are creating the final scenario. And what they did is they started with 3 scenarios, very different sort of visions for Perimeter. One heavy office, one heavy residential. And we're going to be asking the citizens to choose which one they like the most.
Heavy residential, does that mean apartments?
Well, that's been a big topic of conversation. Obviously,
Sure, it
that's big
has.
in the community, but it's big with us. And the only really residential we get offered from the development community is apartments. And we think that there's an alternative or lots of alternatives to that in Perimeter Center, with the understanding that we already have a lot of apartments there. We have more apartments coming. High Street is well under construction with phase 1. And so we think what's missing is that condos, stacked flats, townhomes for the empty nesters, older folks who don't need that big house anymore. They don't need the big yard. They don't want the big yard. And for young families just starting out, they can't afford the 3,000, 4,000 square foot home in Dunwoody, but they want to live here. And so there's really no alternative for them. So yes, that's been a big part of it. So we don't think the only residential is multifamily. We think there needs to be a balance in the future between sort of that for sale product and that rental.
Right. Yeah, they older folks in the community have definitely made their voices pretty loud about how when they get older, they want to stay in Dunwoody, and there's not really a place for them to do that. If they live in a huge house and they're downsizing, there's no place for them to go.
Yeah, we get this all the time. I mean, Pam Talmadge, a council person, she and her husband sold their house and they couldn't find anything in Dunwoody to stay here for a short period of time.
Yeah.
So we hear that all the time. If you look at demographics where we're moving, Metro Atlanta is going to add, I think, 1.7 million people over the age of 55 over the next 30 years.
Wow.
And only about 900,000 people between 25 and 30 and 54. So demographics are moving that way as well. We're getting smaller and smaller houses. Single person households are huge. 2-person households are growing. And so we don't need all 5,000 square foot homes, but most people who've owned a home don't want to live in an apartment. They might not mind renting, but they don't want to rent with a bunch of 25, 30-year-olds. They would prefer to stay with folks like themselves. So that's going to be a huge part of this conversation moving forward. But we also looked at what kind of office market we're going to have, what kind of retail, how's retail changing, and what kind of amenities do we need to put in place to make sure that when we require more for sale housing, people want to build it.
Yeah. I know you've asked the community a whole lot. What have you heard from the community? Which direction did everybody?
Well, we
Pretty
heard
much one
mostly
move.
from the community that they wanted 3 things. They wanted more connectivity, walkability, sidewalks, multi-use trails. They wanted to be able to walk around perimeter, not just get in their car and drive.
Yeah.
They also wanted more parks and green space. There's no parks in Perimeter Center. The city's building the first one right now. And we know that's just the tip of the iceberg of what we really need. So they want more green space, and then they want something to do, right? They want things like other communities have, and I'll mention Avalon because that's one that's sort of known as the mixed use development in Perimeter, but there's also the Battery developments like that. They want sort of cool food and beverage focused outdoor spaces to go hang out or go out to dinner. So those are the 3 things we've heard from the community loud and clear.
Yeah. What do you want, Justin? What do you want in the Perimeter Center area?
I want a stadium. Can we
Stadium?
we get the Battery, but with the stadium right in the middle of it?
Yeah. That would do well with all the traffic improvements around 285 the next 8 months.
Yeah.
Well, could we have an actual retirement community? Is that the?
We've talked to a lot of sort of quote unquote retirement communities, and that's a development. We've got one coming, 84 Perimeter, which is that empty bank building right there on Ashford Dunwoody Road. It's been vacant for years. They rezoned that for senior residential, and that should be getting under construction next year.
Is that the Grub one?
No. This is the. It was rezoned 2 years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Holbrook Living was going to develop it. I'm not sure if they're still involved or not, but it's going to be senior rental, but it's 55 and over.
Okay.
Grub was I think they're proposing something similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see more of those kinds of development, but we also think if you build a condo development, it's basically geared towards everyone, but certainly open, I think, more for those empty nesters.
Yeah.
Well, problem solved then. There we go. That's where all the grandmas and grandpas get to go, right?
Yeah. I remember one of our podcasts, you said a real tall building so you could point and say, that's where my grandma lives.
Well, so every kid in Dunwoody can go, that's where, that's where my grandma lives too.
See it from your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might need more than one, but yes, a few of those, and we think that market is very hot again.
The retirement district.
That's right. Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to pitch it as the Dunwoody Retirement District.
But too late. It was just pitched.
Done.
We certainly want to capture those households and the wealth that they control, right? We don't want those people moving out of the community.
For sure.
Oftentimes they're engaged here. They've got their church here. They volunteer here. We want to make sure they stay here with us, as well as then open up households for new families to move in.
Yeah. How's that hotel motel tax coming? You guys making some money again, or?
We are. It's back to where it was right before the pandemic. So
that's good.
Hotels have picked up, and we have 2 or 3 new hotels since the pandemic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very good news for the city as a whole, but also for our trail systems. As you know, we raised that, and all of that money is dedicated towards trails in Perimeter Center. So, yeah, Michael Smith,
That's
our
a good
Public
thing.
Works. Yeah, it's where it needs to go, and it's what the hotels wanted, and it's what we heard from visitors who stay here. They wanted similar things to what the community wanted. They wanted walkability. They wanted more trails. They wanted to, hey, where do I go run in the afternoon when I'm done with my meetings? And so,
Yeah.
hopefully, very soon we'll get started on phase 1, which is the trail right in front of Perimeter Mall.
Off Ashford Dunwoody?
Yep. Yeah.
There's already one there, right?
Well, Lazy Dog has their portion. They built their portion, and so we're going to extend that all the way down to Hammond.
Oh, okay. Cool.
In phase 1. So we just got the thing. We needed some agreements with the mall. They've provided those, and we're going to start development very soon on that.
Yeah. Is the mall selling off any more of their parking lot? I know that was popular a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they just announced another restaurant that's going into next to Lazy Dog. Doc B's, I think, is the name of it. It's a restaurant concept for somebody who used to work at Houston's, if you're familiar with Houston's restaurant.
Okay.
They just announced, and so they're going to build another restaurant. I don't believe they have any plans to outparcel any more of those. I think most of that is done. We do think in the future, and part of Ed City has been a lot of conversation about the mall, the future of the mall. We know that's not where retail is going. People, most malls are failing now.
But yet somehow Perimeter just kept going.
It continues. It's the most visited retail center in the state, higher than Avalon, higher than Lenox Mall. So
Really?
it is absolutely thriving. But we know that 10 years from now, that's probably not going to be the case. So working on this vision now, getting the mall, their ownership on board with this, we think is going to keep us sort of ahead of any problems, because you've seen Gwinnett Place, North Point, those malls, when they start to fail, it's really difficult for everything around it. They sort of bring down all the retail, not just the mall itself.
Right. Yeah, I had some friends in from out of town, and that I said, yeah, it's at the hotel right next to the mall. They were like, oh, you still have a mall? That's weird. Oh, yeah. And then they got here, and we walked through the mall, and they were like, every one of these shops is full. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like a museum, right? It's the mall museum.
But it's
only
still
one
really
left.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, there's few and far between.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have a putt shack soon. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's where people can go on their lunch break. Have you heard of
what
the
is it? What's a putt shack? No, I've never heard of it.
It's like a Top Golf, but for putting. So you can go there, hang out, drink, play some video games, right?
Yep,
Michael.
It's about 20,000 square feet. I think there's one on the west side already existing. Okay. So yeah, it's sort of you get dinner, and you get like 3 different putt golf inside the building. So yeah, it's gonna be where all the millennials and the Gen whatever go and hang out.
Yeah,
and maybe the 3 of us can go hang out too. I guess they'll let us in.
We can. Well, what else is happening at High Street?
So yeah, they're moving. We did a tour with City Council a couple weeks ago, and so they're actually ahead of schedule, which is great news. They got a lot of construction done before all the rain earlier this year, and they're on target for spring 2024 opening. So they've not announced a whole lot of restaurants or retailers yet. They said they're going to hold off for another 6 months or so, but they said they're very active in leasing, and they feel very good about it. So when they open, they think they're going to be 100% occupied with their retail.
That's cool.
And
I think it'll be busy. I think it's going to be really cool.
Super busy, and I think it's going to be that sort of thing to do for the community. As they talked about, they wanted somewhere to go. I think that's where a lot of people are going to say, oh, you're in town, you go to High Street and you'll just find something to do.
Yeah.
Exciting for us is the park that's right in the center of High Street. They're going to activate that, and they're actually designing it so it's designed to have a ice skating rink in the middle of it. So they're going to activate that space all year long. So you're going to have concerts and outdoor activities all the time.
Are they going to work with Dunwoody for that? It is in Dunwoody, right? Not Sandy Springs?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's 100% in Dunwoody. So all the construction there that you're seeing is in the city.
I wonder if they're going to allow you to have concerts and that kind of thing there.
They're going to have a full-time person, and that's all they do is manage the activation of that space. So absolutely, they said if ever we need anything or want to do something, we're free to do it. But I think they're going to have enough that they want to do that we may not even need to do that.
There you go.
But yeah, it's huge space. I mean, I think 1,200 people they could have for a concert. So, or yoga in the morning or whatever. It's very similar to what happens at the Battery. Obviously, we don't have the Braves and have that activation, but they're going to have their own type of activation there.
Nice. What else is happening? Ashford Lane about to open up.
That's Ashford Lane, yes,
pretty close, right?
It's very close. So the green space is done. You can walk over there. It's still behind a fence because they've still got construction of the restaurants, but the park is done, and they're telling us fall of this year, Superica and Jenny's Ice Cream, and then Hawkers and Grana will open. So before the end of the year, those restaurants will be open, and they have a bunch more coming online as well.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, that's an exciting and something that we really never saw coming. Right, they sort of just appeared. A new owner bought the property right before COVID, closed down, but they always had the thought that they would redevelop it or reposition it to more of an outdoor space. So yeah, that's we've been wanting these outdoor spaces for years, and now we've got the Village, what David Avis is doing. Now we've got Ashford Lane coming soon. We'll have High Street, and then Campus 244 has its own small green space in the middle of that.
Yeah, and I thought you were a little early on the open container laws. Like, what do you call those? The areas that you're setting up.
It's
it was kind of right on time.
Districts.
Entertainment district, yeah.
Because
you can carry a beer from Superica all the way over to, was it Bar Perry?
Yep, Bar Perry. You can go all the way over. The entire mall is an entertainment district. Almost all of perimeter, at least the core commercial area, is now an entertainment district. So yeah, the mall was added. Campus 244 was added. So yeah, it's you're right. We were a little early, but now that we've got all these developments coming online, it's right on time.
So I didn't know the mall was part of it. So you can sit in the mall parking lot and just drink your beers and just hang out.
You can certainly walk with an alcoholic beverage from one restaurant to another.
All right.
I wouldn't sit in your car.
We're gonna need some RoboCops next. Ed City style,
Ed City robots.
Yeah.
Ed City 2.0 robots.
Right, exactly. We can be early with those,
That's right.
Well, what else you got for us? What about the parks? When are the parks opening up?
Yeah, the perimeter center east park, or it's not called that anymore. I know we renamed it to Two Bridges Park, is going to open before the end of the year. So that is moving forward very quickly, which is exciting. And then we've got two other parks, the Roberts Drive and Vermac, under design. I think that's coming back to City Council pretty soon, maybe even the next meeting or two meetings.
Where are we in that process? The Roberts, the Austin Elementary one, they were planning on just leaving it an open field, right?
There's some kind of field involved. I'm not, engaged in that. Brent Walker, our parks director, is. I think there's been a lot of debate on, going, I think, from the softball field to just a sort of generic field, and those things. But yeah, I know it's coming back to council for approval, or at least discussion of what the master plan should look like. So in the next couple of weeks, citizens should be able to see the latest and greatest design of that park.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. It's very busy at the city from an economic development standpoint.
Did we ever say that? Michael Starling is our director of economic development. I just kind of left that out, but.
Well, I mean, you get to it, 20 minutes in? That's okay. Yeah. People have to
ask you a parks question
to figure out who I am and why I'm here.
Yeah.
He's just some guy we're talking to.
We've had a significant amount of office sort of recruitment lately. Happy Lloyd has moved in this summer. They're bringing about 250 jobs from New Jersey and about 400 from Peachtree Corners. They're a big logistics shipping company. Insight Global continues to expand. They built that headquarters right there in the mall parking lot, and then they just leased 130,000 square feet over at Campus 244.
And Campus 244 is the one that backs up to the highway. Is that right?
Yeah, it's behind the Best Buy shopping center. It used
to be. What's happening over there? That sounded like it was going to be really cool, and it's kind of hidden. I never really. Think about it.
It's sort of hard to see it there. Actually, it's a 3-story office building with huge floor plates. It was built back in the 70s. I think it was the first large office building built in Perimeter after the mall was built.
Mm-hmm.
And they're building 2 floors on top of the existing 3 floors, and those 2 floors are timber frame. So it's gonna be a very cool office space. About 70% of it's been pre-leased. So 2 companies have leased the space.
Are these like young tech firms?
Yeah. Well, Insight Global is one, and they're very young and tech focused. And then Transportation Insight is a logistics firm that's relocating from North Carolina. They bought a local company called Noble Transportation Group or Noble Transit Group, merged, and now they're moving everybody down here. So it is very cool. It's taking an existing building, redesigning, remaking it. They're building about 20,000 square feet of restaurants and a hotel as part of phase 1. It's the same group that built Halcyon up in it might be in North Fulton. It's above Avalon. So
and this is on the backside of the what's there now, Best Buy, Jason's.
Yeah, Best Buy. You really have to sort of drive back towards the old Marriott. If you drive down that road between you go underneath the railroad, the MARTA tracks, and it's there. So it's very hidden, but they're starting construction of the 4th and 5th floor. So you'll start to see some construction on top of it pretty soon. So it's going to be a nice.
You'd be able to see it from the highway if you weren't like so concerned about getting off at the right exit,
Exactly. Well, boy, you would. Yeah. If you're looking at it there, you've missed the exit.
Whatever exit you're going for, you've missed it.
Exactly. Probably going over to Brookhaven and looking from that way is probably the easiest way to do it. So yeah, it's going to be a nice little transit connected office project. Again, a building that was vacant for 12 years, I think. There's nobody in it. It just sat there. I think filming was what it was used for most of all. There are a lot of films done there. So it's new.
They're all looking for an old 70s office.
That's what they were looking for. There's a couple of 70s based films that I know were there, and
cool.
I think one was the FBI headquarters in the Richard Jewell movie a few years ago. So that sort of bureaucratic space.
Cool.
So yeah, that's going to be a nice compliment, and so we felt pretty good. That now things have slowed down quite a bit in the office market. People are trying to figure out what this sort of return to work, hybrid, whatever it's going to be. People are taking less and less office space, so that's slowed down. And now the talk of recession, that has scared a lot of office users. The good news is we've got a lot of those already in place. So hopefully we'll get through this next year or two, and that the office market will come back.
Yeah. How's Dunwoody feel about this recession? You guys ready for it?
I'm not sure. It's sort of interesting. Most recessions you don't see coming, but when the Federal Reserve Chairman says there's going to be pain and unemployment, you sort of see it coming. I think we're in a pretty good position.
Technically, we're already there. So
I think there's a big debate. I was reading some articles this morning about what is a recession and who decides. I think for some people it certainly feels that way. Housing, I'm sure is already there. Retail doesn't seem to be there, but it could be right around the corner for that.
Yeah, Well, I'm glad that all of your things are going well, though. All of the
Well, at least
hotels
right
and
now. And what
commercial
we
buildings.
hope is if we get this vision right and we start making the investments in perimeter that residents want, we think that's also going to help with the office market, because people coming back in the office, even if they come in 3 days a week, they don't want to come in to just the normal office. They want to come into somewhere that's cool. It's got a lot of food and beverage amenities around it. So we think making these investments not only help residents, but they also help the office market and then visitors as well.
Yeah. Cool. Well, do you guys have anything else you want to talk about? We're only 30 minutes in. You want to call it quits?
I don't think. Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure I have any more updates.
You're out.
I could go running and ask Brent about the other part.
How about this? So, Michael, you just take complaints all day long from citizens, correct?
Not all day long, but
not all day long.
Part of the day.
So, do you want to call for that action now? Like, if you want to make a complaint, Michael Starling's the guy to call. You want to give your personal cell phone number?
Only good news and only positive things. You can give me a call anytime. Okay. You can find me on the city's website. We do, in economic development, we focus on recruitment, retention, and redevelopment, and we are now getting into entrepreneurship. So, absolutely, if you have any issues or you have any opportunities, feel free to give me a call. Again, you can find my email on the website, or you can call me at 678-646-4847.
Oh, awesome.
That's my cell phone. Call me
anytime. Wasn't expecting that. Wait, that was my number you just gave. I'm just kidding.
That's Justin's.
Yeah, thanks. I'll field
thanks,
those complaints. Michael. All right. Thanks for talking to us.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Take care.
Bye.